catch 'em all.
Alright guys, this will be sort of a quick video because there's really not a lot that I can think of that can help you know a lot about this particular product. So I'm basically looking at, it looks like kind of a, I don't know, kind of looks like a power bank or something, but it's really nice, you know, feels good as far as quality. It's really nicely made. It's metal, it's like an aluminum, has this little, you know, ring here, touch capacitive button on the top with a glossy finish. And then you have your LED light here. You have like sort of a metal looking vent there, and on the bottom you sort of have this vented area, this rubber foot around the back. Has a little bit of a cutout here so air can pass through on that. So this is an ozone generator, and it has a couple of different levels you can set. So how long it's going to last probably is going to be very dependent on what you choose, because there's a LED indicator here, I'll show you in a moment when I turn it on, that illuminates to show you the different modes that you're in, and each one is going to give you a different duration as far as the functionality, as far as the generation of the ozone. And it has like a 4400 milliamp battery if I recall, so it's going to take a pretty long time to charge, and that depends also on what you have it plugged into. They do include a charging cable. You can use your own, it's just micro USB. The port's located here on the back, on the bottom, right there. But it looks really nice, and it's relatively small. In contrast to like my Note 9, you can see, you know, it's a little over half the size of it. But it's got like, you know, pretty good heft to it. It's probably more battery weight than anything. But by any means, what I would like to say also, it does have a little user manual. It explains the different modes and everything. I won't get into the specifics of that because if you're interested in this, you're always going to check out some information and research it a little bit more. But you do have a few different levels. There's a blue, green, and red indicator to indicate those three different. It does have memory, so if you have it in a certain mode, shut it off, turn it back on, it'll resume back in that mode. Now, what I want to say about this or any ozone generator is ozone generators can be potentially dangerous. It's not something you want to be breathing in. It's not going to work in a large room, so it's not going to, you know, be designed for that. This is more designed like in your fridge, maybe your gym locker, even a closet, somewhat of a confined small space, or you have a drawer. I think ideal use for this type of device is probably going to be in a gym locker or even a gym bag, I guess you could use it for. I don't know if that would really be recommended, but you know, a fairly small confined space and somewhere that you're not going to spend a lot of time in direct vicinity of, where you're constantly breathing it in. You can use it in the fridge as well. But the thing with ozone is, although there are properties that, you know, contribute to the prolonging of, I guess, food, possibly because you're having a more pure environment. I suppose that's one of the claims you might see about some ozone generators, bacteria and viral and all this different, you know, things that it can defeat or whatever. I guess it depends on the claims that's being made by the person that's selling the item, because sometimes things are, you know, put out there a little bit. Some are right, some are wrong. But anyway, so the thing is, you don't want to be sitting there breathing it in. You can have it in those different environments, but it could be dangerous if you have huge quantities to breathe in. So you don't want to do that. So that's the main thing. I just wanted to stress that. I'm sorry. I'll move on from that. But that's just a big thing. You need to be, you know, cognizant of that and just plan accordingly if you decide to have something like this. But you can basically put this in your fridge, let it run. I guess it depends on which mode you choose, how long you're going to run it. You're probably going to run it for at least a month. I'd say just charge it every month and just charge it overnight, because you're probably going to be in the minimum 4 or 5 hour range getting it charged. But that depends on how far you allow it to be depleted. So when you plug it in, you'll see that it's charging. It's very obvious, and the light goes off and everything. But your power button's on the top right there. You can see the fingerprint where I've been touching it. So it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. So I'm going to turn it on. You'll hear the actual sound. You'll see an illumination, and then we'll kind of look at the different modes. So push, hold, and now it's on. And it's in standby mode. There's green. So there's one mode, blue is the second, and red is the third. And then if I want to turn it off, just push and hold. And you'll get that audible beep, so you'll know, definitively that you have changed modes, turned it on, turned it off, as well as having the indicator. I think there's like a 25-second dispersion or a 15-second dispersion, depending on which mode you choose. I've had it in the fridge for a while, and obviously being metal, it gets very, very cold, but I had no problems or failures from it. I do, again, have my concerns with the ozone aspect, but you're not breathing in massive amounts. I would not suggest sticking your nose right up to this to smell this, but when you first turn this on, the first time, if you come in close contact, you will have a distinct odor detected or smell from the ozone itself, and you'll recognize it from that point forward. Sometimes you will notice that with the fridge because it's a closed environment when you open the door. So I believe it would be very effective. I didn't really notice any smells from the fridge per se because I don't keep a lot of food in there that would go bad, and I don't keep a lot of food in there, generally speaking, at all. As far as it's going to spoil, it's always closed very well. But I like the idea that this is going to help to keep that environment clean, so that's my usage for it. But anyway, it is well made. I would imagine it would last a really long time because the battery is more than capable of powering this. It's one of the larger size batteries. I believe it's just an 18650 cell on the inside, but it doesn't have any kind of serviceable aspects to it, so you can't open it without probably removing this rubber ring, which I don't want to do that because of the adhesive. But as long as you keep this area open, a little bit of open in the back, and I say charge it probably about once a month. I don't see it being a real problem for anyone. I think it's an interesting item. I love gadgets, technology, and I guess you could just open a box of baking soda and throw it in the fridge and do the same thing, but there's no technology in that. So anyway, that's pretty much it. As I say, it comes with the little box, nothing too major. It's well packaged, the user manual and the charging micro USB cable, which again, you can supply your own. So that's pretty much it. If you want to find out more, you can read more about it, maybe check some other reviews and such. There's a link below the video. Thanks for watching.